Absolutely.
Good. Go on, Vinny.
Jürgen, there's been various responses to what you said about the FA Cup fourth round replay. Brendan Rodgers fully agrees with you, by the way. He says that you're well within your rights to rest all your players for the benefit of the club. But on the flip side, there's been the FA saying that every club agreed to this season's FA Cup fixture schedule and new fourth round replays might cut into the winter break. Some would say it's a chance to give the likes of Matip, Lallana valuable game time, and other points raised include Shrewsbury have only played 2 games less. And whatever side you do choose to pick, that you should be there as manager. So how do you respond to all of that?
Thank you very much. So maybe we should start with the most important thing. I feel a bit sorry for Shrewsbury, because after the game it was obviously everybody spoke about what I said and not about the brilliant performance of Shrewsbury. And that they deserve. I thought I said it out directly after the game, but maybe I didn't make it clear enough. All the rest what I said was then for the outside world more important. So the next thing is we want to go to the next round. That's still the plan. And Shrewsbury, we are a Premier League team. Shrewsbury is a League One team, and they could get a draw from that game for different reasons. And why should our U23 not be able to do that? So it's not that we gave up or something like that. That's another important thing, I think. Then I have to make decisions which are not the reason for it's not that I want to make popular decisions or stuff like that. I have to make decisions based on the situation we are in. And some other people did some decisions when they thought before the season, obviously about this season. But whoever it was, and okay, the FA tried to do something with moving games to midweek and stuff like this to decrease the intensity of the period a little bit. But in the end, it came out, and whoever was involved in that, if somebody from our club was involved in that as well, or forgot to say no or whatever, I don't know exactly how it was discussed. The situation ended up in, they gave us 2 weeks. In the first moment, we're all human beings. We just thought, okay, 2 weeks, that's it. And it was not clear which week you get. And then we started going a bit into it. And then we saw, okay, if we get a second week, then we play probably a Champions League game in that week. Would mean if we have the second week of these 2 weeks now, hope it's not too complicated, our winter mid-season break would have ended Tuesday. That's 9 days, I think. We cannot make then a week off or whatever and say, okay, there are 2 days to prepare Atletico Madrid in this case. It's not possible. So the other week was the first week for all the Champions League teams, was obviously the more the better week, because there's no Champions League game. And then it came up, oh, there could be a potential replay. So, and then because we plan in the long term, I cannot plan like this, especially when there's a really decisive period of the season coming up. So I decided around about 3 weeks, I don't know exactly when, we knew that we are through to the next round, that we will play Shrewsbury. Not sure it was not clear because they had to play Bristol. I decided that we will have a mid-season break, based on a letter, not only, but as well based on a letter which we got in April 2019, where we were asked to respect this mid-season break. And we do that. And I know how it sounds now, and I don't want to be in the middle of all these discussions. I'm not a revolution guy or whatever, and want to show the whole world how strong I can be or whatever. It's absolutely not the reason. If people think I'm not here, that I'm lazy because I'm not there at the game, I'm lazy, I cannot change that. If people name me whatever they want to name me, I cannot change that. But I'm not too much interested in it, because the only responsibility I feel is for my players, and to be 100% honest, very much for all the players as well. If we react now just in a way like we always react, okay, we have to do it, we have to sort it somehow, whoever will be here, we have to play and find a way to do it, nothing will change. And I think all people in football agree that things have to change and that people have to speak. So how is it possible that at the end, and if the way they spoke about it, I don't know who was there from which club, I know the FA said all the clubs agreed, no sports responsible people were there. So it was not a coach, that was not a manager, and was not a sporting director. So that's what we need. That's what has to change as well. So because otherwise we have next year exactly the same situation. It's obviously difficult to find 2 weeks where you can give all the Premier League teams a week off and then a week to prepare the next game, because that's what we will do. And not only the next game, this week rest for the players. It's not a break. It's not that they don't train or whatever. We send coaches with them wherever they go, not one player here and then you get their own coach, but the players are smart enough to go 4 or 5 players to the same place, and we send their coaches. So they train, but not here at Melbourne, not football, just to keep the body going a little bit. And then we have another week leading to the Norwich game, I think. It is a Norwich game, yeah. And to the rest of the season, which is a very important part of the season. Weeks ago, when we had to decide it, nobody knew we will win the next 2 Premier League games, 3 games. We could have lost them, whatever. That was all. And then we are in a different situation. Maybe people would discuss it differently. I don't know. We had to make the decision then, and I made a decision. And now it looks like people expect from me something different. So I cannot do what all the people want out there. Could I be here for the game? Of course I could. But that's, again, a complete misunderstanding of management and coaching. I don't come here for showing up for the team like 2 days or 1 day training and then tell the boys, so now I tell the boys. It's like all the good coaches from the past could still come in, like Fabio Capello could just go to the Italian national team and tell them 2 days what they have to do and everything will be fine. It's not like this. They need their coach, and that's Critch. They need their coach, and they get their coach, Critch. They get all our support, all what we want, and we try everything as a club to win that game. And it's possible. It's possible. It's not easy. We all saw when we saw Shrewsbury playing, but it's possible. And that's the only thing what is important. But the winter break, the mid-season break, it's not winter. The mid-season break is now something what has to be settled for the next years, and all the different parties together have to find a solution that will not be like this year again. That it's possible you have fun, but it's not, maybe yes. That's just not how it should be, and that's exactly the situation.
Is that mid-season break then as important for managers as it is for players?
No. No, I said it a couple of times. It's about that we do it to make the standpoint just clear. And again, I said, if people call me lazy, if people call me disrespectful to cup committees, it's not true. But that's not important, because everybody has a right to have an opinion. I have no problem with that. But I cannot just do what I want. I'm responsible for my players, and I decided for them, for us, for the whole group, with the coaches and all that stuff. This is the mid-season break, and that has to be the mid-season break for the next years, because that's what everybody needs. And if we just always react in the same way, then nothing will change. And that there's a discussion now is really good. I got a lot of support, short message-wise, so it's not that everybody got asked, obviously, but they sent me still messages and said this and that. But all the people are obviously then were in a similar situation, like we are every year, trying to find a way to go through the season. It's absolutely okay. It's our job. We do that. But if then part of that, of all these long-term plans is a mid-season break, then it has to be a mid-season break, and you cannot get it away a week before you have it. That's just not possible.
Moving on and looking ahead.
That's nice.
How is Sadio Mane? Is he going to be available to face West Ham? What's the extent of his injury?
Sadio will not be involved for West Ham, and probably not for Southampton. After that, he should be then fine. In the week we have then after that is for him perfect to get back on track, if you want. So he has a small muscle tear, which keeps him up, is serious enough to get him out. But we were lucky with the injury as well, so it was not that serious. But of course, when you have 4 games or whatever or 3 games in a week, then that means he's out for these 3 games.
If I can just, obviously, global news, I suppose, on Sunday night with the news about Kobe Bryant. I don't know whether that would have affected you at all, or how you felt when you heard the news, not just about Kobe, but obviously everybody else that was involved.
Yeah, that's how the world is. In the first moment, it's Kobe Bryant, and then you get all the other information. So, of course, I was absolutely shocked in the first moment. I met him once. It's one of the rare moments we had a selfie together, and I'm a big admirer of these kind of sports personalities, and he's a wonderful person, and I have a few other connections in different parts, charity-wise and stuff like this. So, yeah, was a big. Just showed all of us how quick it can be finished, however brilliant the life was until then. But then you get all the other informations with the daughter and all the other people, the family, the coaches and stuff like this. It's just a very, very, very sad news.
If I may go back to football as well, West Ham United, obviously next. I'm just wondering how you look at this one. It's felt like a slight tweak in formation for their FA Cup game, some players as well. So how do you prepare for West Ham? What do you expect, if anything? What can you expect?
West Ham fights for the league, so we're staying in the league, and that's what it looks like. It will be a big fight. They will fight with all they have. It will be rather defensive lineup. It will, if it's 4 in the back, if it's 5 in the back, I don't know. But both is obviously possible. They did something mixed already when it was 4, but plus Masuaku man marking Pereira, I think, against Leicester. So yeah, different possibilities, but we have to be ready for a big fight. They want to strike back. They have a tough program coming up. Everybody knows that, and they have no points to waste, no time to waste. Yeah, it will be just a tough one, 100%. But we have to do what we have to do. Means we have to fight as well. Very important. We have to keep up, if not setting the intensity level, and play. Do some smart things with possession as well, and that's a big challenge. Counter-attacking threats. Well, Antonio, Mancini, whoever can play. I'm not 100% sure. That will be tough, but that's what Premier League is about.
Yes.
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying during the mid-season break about the players having individual training programmes to go through themselves. So with the likes of some players who haven't been available coming back from injury, I know Billy sort of mentioned Joel Matip in one of the questions. Would his programme be more intense than to others? Because
of course,
as Vinny sort of suggested, and I don't think you touched on it, is like there are why aren't they getting the game time if they're just coming back from injury? So that programme would be more intense, say, for him than for the others.
I said we made a decision. 3 weeks, I think 3 weeks ago, and that was for this squad and not for the players. And would a game more or less would help? Yes. Would it make the all-over difference? No. And that's it. It's a stance or a standpoint as well. That's the mid-season break. It's not that we can decide. Again, the plan was, I don't want to go always back to that, but I don't understand why nobody really thinks. It's like the associations, whatever, brought us in a situation that we had to already weeks ago, a month ago maybe, in December, have to think about, do we play the Carabao Cup or do we play the World Team Cup? And everything, I'm not sure if it was 50-50 or whatever it was, but we were in a situation, we had to make a decision. Why we have to make a decision? There's a schedule, and find a way that it's normal. And people ask us to play against Aston Villa. So, because in England nobody thought that it's really important to be there. We went there and we realized if we wouldn't have been here, or if we sent the kids there or whatever, that would have been a massive statement to the outside world that we are not interested what the whole world is interested in, because it was a really big tournament for all people apart from England and maybe Germany. I'm from there. They never really thought about that as well. So, or Europe, let me say like this. And we were in that situation. Now we are again in a situation where we have to make a decision. But usually you have a schedule, like we all have a schedule, where you can rely on. So, and that's it. And that's what we said. This needs to be the mid-season break needs to be a mid-season break from next year on for everybody. and not Champions League, maybe because it's mainly for the Champions League teams that they have the most busy schedule, or European League teams with the international games. They have to, and then these teams have then only 4 days and can prepare 5 days a game, and that's just not like it should be. And how I said, I don't want to be the guy who has to make that decision, but when Shrewsbury scored this 2-2, I felt a little bit, oh, maybe it's destiny. So now we have to stand to it, and that's what we do, and that's it.
And Jürgen, is it therefore better not to have replays at all in the 4th round if things can't be changed in terms of schedules?
Yes. So for that, and again, I heard, didn't read it, but there were really clear opinions about that, and it's like the financial situation for the lower league teams and stuff like that. And I respect that. The most time still of my life, I worked and played for lower league teams. So, and I understand that situation 100%. But the replay cannot be the solution. So we have to find different solutions. So that's how. There are solutions, and it's. I think the Oxford manager last week, or when it was, said that they have 9 games in February. So Shrewsbury fights for the league. I'm not 100% sure they would have, that day they could have won the penalty shoot. Why not? It looked they were rather on the winning side than we were on the winning side, so in that game. So if they win the game, then they have the 5th round. Good, another boost. They have the penalty shoot and they can go to the next round. Good. I'm not sure how many games they have, but they have not a squad for playing now constantly 3 games a week. So on the highest level, that's why Shrewsbury, obviously with the quality they have, are not higher in the competition. So it's for the moment, it's a solution for the moment. In the long term, it's not a solution for these teams as well, because we all have problems after that unbelievable busy December, January, going now in that period where the decisions will be made for the whole season. The decisions will be, you only create a basis, and from now on, the decisions will be made. Who goes to Europe, who goes to Champions League, who will be champion, who stays in the league, and all that stuff will be now made. Nothing is decided yet. And that's exactly, and that's what the replays really, they cause everybody problems. It's maybe on the financial side, and for that we have to find a solution. Nobody wants to take the money away from the smaller clubs, but the replay is not the solution. I know traditions, it's always difficult to break with traditions. And it's even more difficult when you're not from the country. But I love cup competitions. In 7 years at Dortmund, I think I was 3 or 4 times in a cup final. Won it not so often, but was there. So it means we won all the other games until then. So it's nothing to do with that. It's just I have to see the bigger picture, and that's what I do. And that means the players will have their program. And I will not be there, not because I don't want to be here or I plan differently. I'm absolutely not important in that part, but it's not about showing up and wearing my training gear or touchline gear and show the world I am here. It's about the best thing for the boys, and that's their coach. Critch did really, really well with Aston Villa. The goals we conceded there, forget them. But the game they played was exceptional, and with a similar performance, the boys have a chance 100% against Shrewsbury. And that's the only thing that you never have more than a chance before a game. Nobody knows how it will end, but the boys have a chance, and I hope they will make it.
And just a question on Roberto Firmino, if I may. He's scored 10 goals this season. All of them have come away from home. Is that just sheer coincidence?
Strange. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know idea. I heard about it. But they were pretty much all very important, especially the last 5, I remember. They were incredibly important. So I'm fine with that, as long as enough people score at home and he scores away. No problem with that. Thank God we have now an away game or whatever. So, yeah, I would say pure coincidence.
Jürgen, do you think the FA will make any changes as a result of you taking a stand?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Look, it's always like this. I said now what I said, and other people find explanations. I'm not sure, I don't want to say excuses, but explanations for that. But we said it before, we said that. If that was like this, then all the people, clubs involved, have to think differently. And have to discuss these things differently. If I would imagine a discussion like that, it's then all the people sitting in there, and it's like, yeah, and the winter break will be there, but the potential FA Cup rebuild, yeah, okay, done, that point. So, and that's how the player situation is discussed in a moment, and that's what has to change. And we said that now, not only me, a lot of times, because again, 21, we have now another Copa America in the summer, European Championship. The Copa America was last year already, European Championships again. Not only our players, a lot of top class, world-class players. Again, no break in the summer, again. 21, where we usually would have been a summer for everybody, Club World Cup, and UEFA already plans now a parallel tournament for all the other teams who are not involved there. So we fill now that break as well, and that is not possible anymore. And that's really, it's uncomfortable that as a normal person I have constantly to talk about that. It's not that I think that's my main problem. My main problem, and I thought the whole night, last night, we made the analysis, it was only West Ham. But of course I accept that the day you want to talk about it, but it's not, I don't want to be the person who is the shouter for everybody. It's just nobody, not nobody else, a lot of coaches do it, but that's now a moment where we have to stay strong and say, no, that we cannot do that like this anymore, because if we don't start a discussion, all the rest is only grabbing more. It's just only doing more, and here another game, and there another game, and here another competition, and here a bigger Champions League, and here and that. And of course it's from the club's point of view interesting, clear. But we are part of the club, and we talk to all the important people in our club as well. But it's completely normal. We want to play football as often as possible, but that's the key word, possible. So you cannot play constantly. The big sports in the whole world, wherever it is, I don't know exactly, they all have breaks. They all have breaks. In America, the big sports, where there are always world championships and whatever, they have 4 months off. Nobody knows where they are. Do they pre-summer camps or whatever? They're very intense. Here it's like constantly playing through. And that's all good. But the players cannot do that. We limit careers. We limit performance levels. That's how it is. And why should I now sit here and do that? And it would be the easiest thing for me to say, I'm there on Wednesday, and now everybody would be happy. Oh, Tuesday, sorry. And now everybody would be happy that Jürgen is there, then and nothing, and then everything is fine. That's the wrong statement. And again, from a football point of view, I say these boys need their coach, not me standing there and acting like their coach. They need Critch, and they get Critch. That's it.
Would you possibly be involved in that situation at an earlier stage when it comes to maybe the schedule for next season being great?
If I have time, that's my problem. Yeah. We have to do it then, I don't know, in the mid-season break or whatever, that we sit together and talk about it. It's no problem to do that. There's absolutely no problem. I don't want to discuss it in public. 99% of all the things we discuss stay completely. I would never speak about it in public because it's just do it. But at the end, it must be the right solution. That's we all work on it. And the right solution doesn't mean the right solution for me. It means the right solution for the specific problem. But of course, I would be. If somebody asks me, it's no problem to talk about it. I said pretty much everything already now in these kind of press conferences. So I just have to record it, and I don't have to come there.
Richard, anything for you? I suppose we've got to move on. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Welcome.